Hi all, how are you all doing? TravellingMowerMechanic here. Today we've got something a little bit different to work on. A little Yamaha 50. Has a carburetor issue. Turn the fuel tap on and the fuel just runs out the overflow hose. So we've got to take the carburetor out from under here. It's either the float sticking or there's something under the needle possibly on that. So first we've got to remove the tank, which we'll do. We'll take the tank off and then we'll go in underneath here and get the carburetor out and see what's going on. So we'll undo the bolt on here. One there, one on this side. Okay, bolts all in there. Got a breather hose here, you've got to unhook. And then we'll unhook the fuel line off the carburetor on the other side there. There we go. Okay, so the fuel tank should just come straight off, just like so. Okay, I'm trying to get the zip better so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so we're going to do our 4 screws on the bottom here. So we'll drop that down. Okay, so we've got our 4 screws here, we'll undo these. Take these 4 out, that'll have a look and then see what's going on. Okay, and there we go, there's our inside our bowl. Not too bad, fairly clean in there. This is the problem here. We have an issue here somewhere with the float. In that. So what we've got our float, and in here there's a little tab which lifts and lowers the needle, which controls the amount of fuel that's coming in on here. Now we've got too much fuel coming in, so that means that needle's probably opening up too much, or there's something in underneath it. Now there's a little pin here that holds the float in. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but there's a little pin right there. Now they only go in one way and come out one way. You need to be very careful that you don't break the legs off right here on that. This one doesn't want to come out real well. Just wiggle around till it comes out. Don't go forcing it, you'll break it. Okay, so that one's not going to come out the way I thought it would. Find my little tool here somewhere. I've got doing these with. I'll do it. There we go, there's that little pin. Just starting to come out now. So we'll take that pin out, there it is. That's the little pin that holds your float and your needle in. There's our float and there's our needle. That all looks pretty good. There we go. That's our needle seat in here. There's your pile of jet main jet. Now, I'm not a bit sus about this one here. This one here doesn't look to be going all the way down. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that out. And I think I've got another one here. Because that one looks fairly new. So I'll take that out. Okay, that's it. Inside the carburetor looks okay. Fairly clean. Let's just over. It's flooding because of the float, I think, the float setting on it. We've got a little screw here that holds that in, holds the seat down. But it's got two prongs on either side of the brass, but they're bent over. I'm wondering whether they should go the other way. So we're just going to do that, have a look in there. That little screw right in here. Little screw, I don't know whether you'll be able to see them real well. Just going to take that one out in a second. Now, guys, as I've said before in a lot of my other videos and things like that, carburetors are pretty particular. So I just drop that on the ground. There may be some contamination. Always rinse them off. Now I didn't do the carb on the outside because it's all clean. There's no dirt or nothing on that. So if it's all dusty and grubby, that make sure you spray them off first. Clean them first before you open them. Okay, I'm just going to spray a bit of spray through this here jet. That little brass jet we just took out. Yeah, that's nice and clean, shooting out through there. So we'll just put that there on our cloth. Got a packet there of some of the older stuff that was in it. There's the older jet. Nice and clean, I can see through that one. But anyway, we'll just spray a bit through it just to make sure. Yeah. I'm just going to put this one in just to see if it stretches any lower. Yeah, look at that. That one goes all the way down. The gap here is very narrow compared to the new one. So I'll take that one back out. We'll put the new one in and just see why it's not going down. Actually, just doing a comparison here. This jet that was in the new kit by the looks of it is not the same. don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but there's a fraction difference in the height of the brass. This one comes up further than this one. So we're going to go with the old one. Just put it back in. It's clean. There's nothing here to make it faulty or anything like that. So we're just going to put the old one back in it. Now back to our needle seat. We'll take that screw out. Okay. Yeah. I've taken the screw out. That needle seems to be seating down all the way to where it should be. I'm just going to check that out in a second just to make sure. But apart from that, so I really think is that the problem here is this little tab here is up too high and it's allowing it to come up too far. So I think we've got to make an adjustment on there, put it back on and see how we go. See whether it fixes it or whether it's going to be another issue. So back to our float. The little tab right there, I've just pulled that down. I've dropped that down just a fraction, so I don't know whether you'll be able to notice that or not, but that is just a fraction past here where it was on this side before. And that should reduce the amount of fuel that's going through and reduce the flooding on it. So we'll go ahead and put that back in. Wash the needle off, a bit of car spray first. Problem is, we've got to get that on there. So your needle just hangs on there just like so. Take that, there's a carb. Take that, we'll drop that back in there. Yep. That's always the tricky part, especially if you're not like I am. Not on the right table today for it, so. Okay, take out a little pin. This only goes one way. We'll slide that all the way through. Okay, so looking at our float here, that is actually cockeye. We want that, that's got to allow the fuel in. That might be a little bit too high there. So once your bowl fills up, pushes this back up this way and shuts your fuel off. We're going to stand like that, and there goes the needle. Now, I'm not sure how they come out of there, but it did. That's why you always got to be very careful with carburetor jobs. It's likely to go anywhere. Put our float back in the carb now. We've adjusted that. Now, what I like to do, even though we've got a rubber gasket in around here, that's our bowl gasket there. I always like to take a bit of this Permatex oil resistant, fuel resistant gasket sealer. Just that the gasket's an older gasket, so just to prevent any leakages and having to pull it all apart again. Just like to put a very small smear around it. So I haven't gone and plastered it all over everything, it's just around that edge. So now we'll put our bowl back on, just like so. Put our 4 screws back in. Now with these screws, just tighten them down so they're snug. You don't want to strip that alloy, otherwise you'll be off for a new carburetor. Okay, so I'm going to get these back in here. I'll get them tightened down. Then I'll go ahead and reinstall the carb, and then we'll come back and see if they're still flooding. Okay, so we're all back together. I've got the fuel tank just sitting here at the moment. Let's connect the fuel line up and see if there's any fuel come out there. See if it's fixed the flooding issue. So we'll just put the fuel line back on here. So got ourselves a fuel tap just here. Fuel tap just there, so let's turn it on. See if we've got any fuel going to run out of here. So far so good. Okay. Let's see whether it's good enough. Oh, heater. No, there we go. We've still got fuel running out. So that tells me there's something else wrong with this carburetor. We've still got fuel coming out the overflow. I've just turned that off. Just see whether it'll fire up. Not going to. So we've still got fuel coming out. So we're going to have to go back through the carburetor and see what's going on there. So we'll do that. Okay, problem sorted. Found a couple of things that weren't right. We've put the old seat back in it. Little seat there back in it. Purely because this one's totally different. The old one had a bigger centre and a divot in it, sitting there. This one was a bit tight getting in. Thought there was something might be wrong with that. Changed that out, put the old one back in, This jet here, slightly thicker in the headpiece, and wasn't going in quite far enough. Put the other one back in and went straight down. Hooked it all back up. Turn that tap on. There's the overflow down here. Fuel leak fixed. So we've got no fuel running out or anything now. The carb was pre-tuned, so hopefully once we fire it up we may have to adjust it, but hopefully it'll fire and run okay. Alright guys, so there you go. Just because someone gives you something in the packet and tells you that's the right one, sometimes it's not. Not until you take them out. And that was the main fault. This tiny seat here was the main fault. Not sitting there properly, keeping the needle open, allowing the fuel to run through. Okay guys, well thanks for watching.